Welcome everybody to Quackshot on the Mega Drive. Since Jova's not here, we're just gonna call it the Mega Drive because that's what it is.
Yeah. Screw you, America.
Alright, so who here is familiar with this game? Aside from me, of course.
Partially me. Although I even played it, it was in the library of the person who actually made me discover video games when I was a very little kid. Basically, I had this friend who had, forgot it was a Mega Drive or a Saturn, and he had a lot of other stuff, including this game and the first one I ever played in my life, Castle of Illusion.
Obviously. That's the one that
Not so
everybody
much
knows.
me, because a lot of the Disney games I play were in line with the movies. So
Instead of the... this was made by SEGA themselves. Aside from Capcom, SEGA back in the 90s was the go-to developer for the great Disney games.
Then again, remember, a lot of games that were Sega Mega Drive... Oh, sorry.
One day, Donald came across an old book in Uncle Scrooge's study. And the title of the book was King Garuzia's Great Duck Treasure. And of course, Scrooge is sleeping in the background. According to the book, Garuzia was once the leader of a great duck kingdom. We're never sorry, Teo, there's not going to be any lore building on that kingdom.
Darn.
Just before he died, King Garuzia hid his most prized possession in a secret location. Of course. Tucked inside the book, Donald found a map showing clues to where the treasure could be found. Okay. Wow, Donald exclaimed. If I could find a treasure like this, I'd be richer than Uncle Scrooge. That's debatable, Donald. That's debatable, Donald. I mean, for all you know, it's not that big a treasure. But one of Pete's gang had been spying through the window and saw everything. Donald took the map with him as he started to head home. Pete's gang chased after Donald on the treasure map. Donald could see an open manhole ahead and jumped over it, but Pete's gang all fell in, as you can see there in the screen.
Yep.
Donald took Huey, Dewey, and Louie to the plane to take off on the great treasure hunt. But just then, Daisy appeared. And she looks pissed.
Okay.
Donald, where were you going? You were supposed to be at my house for dinner an hour ago. Wait, you couldn't have dinner before you did this? Daisy, something very important has come up. I'm going to find something special for you, and I want it to be a surprise.
Oh.
Donald, wait! Come back! Donald!
Dun 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 dun.
Donald and his nephews took off on their plane, leaving a furious Daisy behind. Because it's always good to leave your girlfriend while she's mad. Moments later,
yeah,
Pete's
you
gang...
might not want to return for like a month, maybe
Pete's
more.
gang flew... so yeah, Pete's gang flew after them, basically. Alright, so we can choose to go either to Duckburg, Mexico, or Transylvania. So even though we literally just took off from Duckburg, let's go back to Duckburg.
Sure, why not?
Alright, Duckburg, Shiroy, is actually the city where all of the anthropomorphic animal characters from Disney, like Mickey, Donald, and Goofy, live. It's mostly prominent in the comics.
Yeah.
Alright, Shiroy, you were, so you're gonna play this game. Basically, this is a platforming adventure game. It's all about platforming and beating enemies and stuff, the typical stuff from 90s games, but at the same time there's a few adventure elements like solving certain puzzles and collecting certain objects to open doors and stuff like that. As for what you just saw, that was the classic Donald tirade tantrum thing that he always does. Basically, when you collect 5 chili peppers, he gets in there and you get a short invincibility thing out of it.
Okay.
Alright, there, you can be this guy.
Okay. You won't be able to continue much further without the right tools to climb high walls.
Wait, in that case, how the hell do people here in Duckburg get around?
I guess we're all like Strider hear you and may just have grappling hooks.
Sure. Anyway, yeah, whenever we reach a certain point in the stage, he puts in the flag there, and you can use it to call the airplane so you can get back to the world map. So that's how I go to Mexico now. Basically, this game is all about, even when you find an obstacle like we just did about that wall, it's okay, just go to another level, eventually you'll be able to find an item that allows you to proceed, so you'll be able to go back there and see exactly what's beyond that obstacle that you can overcome at the beginning. And
It's
yeah,
good enough for the checkpoints, yeah.
yeah, this game was actually, it's interesting to say that too, because about Castle of Illusion, because this game was often bundled with Castle of Illusion back in the day. There was an actual cartridge that had both games in it, mostly because it was made by the same team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but as I was saying before, back in the day, most of the games that were exclusive to Sega consoles, more often than not, they were actually published by Sega themselves. Even if sometimes they were licensed products,
Yeah.
like this one. And also there's the infamous case with the first Dynamite Cop, which in America got renamed Die Hard Arcade, and of course it then got all the problems with the license, but it's another story.
Well, in terms of the 90s, I don't think licensed games were all that bad, really.
No, Shiro, actually, well, depended. You still got your terrible games, as
I know, but
the AVGN pointed out
I
very
don't
well.
think it was anywhere near as big of a problem as it is
No, yeah,
these
you're
days.
right. Well, these days, it's even interesting because these days, licensed games are actually very rare, if you think about it. For example, aside from, of course, licensed games that are made, like, say, take for example Spider-Man, for example, or take for example Batman. Before the Arkham games, all the other products were made of license of a particular product, like the movies or the animated series. But after Batman Begins, that actually stopped, and we didn't got licensed games from the movies. And around the period 2010-2011, licensed games based on movies, for example, that came out, pretty much stopped altogether. The last two major cases, the one we covered, were the first Thor movie and Green Lantern movie. After that, the licensed game... Oh, sorry.
Donald, don't you know that you need a special key to go into these ruins? Yeah, Donald.
Okay,
Don't you know? Duh. Don't you know
You know
that?
how video games work, man?
I mean, it's not that.
know.
I mean, just because they've never been here before, whatever. A team of explorers returned to Duckburg with it for some reason. It's called the Hero Key. The Hero Key.
So, Link had it.
I guess. Thank you, sweet señorita. All right. Calm down, Donald, before we get racist. All right.
There we go.
Let's go back to Duckburg then. Maybe that
Well,
guy.
this is older Disney we're talking about, so...
All right. Maybe this guy has it.
You'll be surprised. Hey, have you?
That's me. Hey, have you seen the Hero Key? Yeah, let's just get right into
I
it.
got it right there. Are you a hero?
How convenient. Wait, are you a hero?
What?
I'm trying to be a hero. Wait.
So
Actually, no, you're not. No, you're not. You're trying to get treasure.
Then okay, that's good enough apparently. Good luck.
Donald takes the hero. So yeah, we just blatantly lied and deceived this poor scout, and took so we could take his hero key.
Well,
Great.
yeah, did you know that's what heroes do?
So as you can see, also Shira, there's a lot of backtracking, so that's also why the checkpoints come very in handy.
If you can open this door if you use the hero key, don't you know that?
All right,
let's use it then. Donald used it.
There we go.
All right, first dungeon.
Ow.
Oh. There you go.
All right, so we actually we don't even know exactly what's in here, but hey, the game gave us a way to get in, so might as well explore, see what we can find. Yeah.
Yeah. When it comes to platforming slash adventure, this one is actually fairly more complex than Castle of Illusion because it has a different structure to it. Castle of Illusion is much more linear, quote unquote, while this one has the backtracking, the exploration, and everything, and you need to search objects and everything. So there's a fair more challenge factor to it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Oh, by the way, I didn't think I'd explained about the weapons. Donald's main weapon is a plunger. Don't ask. I guess he figured. Well, if Mario's not going to use them, I guess I might as well.
I was just gonna say more plumbing than Mario has ever done in his life.
Sega does, one Nintendo don't.
Until Mario 3D World, at least.
And if you disregard the RPGs.
That too, yeah. Anyway, yeah, the plunger can temporarily stun enemies, and since there's infinite ammo with it, it's the weapon that I recommend using the most when it comes to the normal enemies. You can also shoot seeds of corn. Sure. In fact, there's ammo right here. The corn icons. And it's
well, according to Ace Attorney, seeds definitely hurt.
Yeah, it's the best. It's the best weapon in the game, so I recommend saving it for bosses.
All right. It's a fairly convenient for moving blocks. So.
There's a third. Yeah, there's a third weapon, but we don't have it yet, so I'll bring it up when it becomes relevant.
Ow.
Basically, the crawling animation is basically you cannot actually properly crawl like in most games. Instead, you just have this. You just rush forward, and you can't even stop yourself. So it's kind of crappy when you're trying to avoid those particular blocks there. Fuck.
All right.
There we go. So yeah, it's all about hitting them in the correct place, so they'll be high enough so you can jump on the proper platforms. Fuck, too high.
Thankfully, the control scheme for the movement and jump seems to be fairly accurate, as it may were in
A to run, B to shoot, and C to jump. Simple.
No, but I mean both the momentum, speed,
Hold
and...
on.
Oh, hi, Goofy.
Quackshot, it's swell to see you. Goofy, what are you doing here? Yeah, what are you doing here, Goofy? Oh, just looking around. I found this strange note. You just walk around desert dungeons for fun? Do you want it?
Well, he's after the treasure himself, I guess.
You bet. I also found this funny plunger thing. Maybe if you shoot it at walls and things, it will help you reach high places, because apparently that's how plungers work. And gyro...
Of course.
Because
Much like in video game fashion, they tell you the rules after you've already done them.
Well, actually, Shiroi, no, that's because it's the red plunger. So yeah, he gave me a note and the red plunger. Let's look at that note.
It's all different.
Let's read. Let's check out that note that he gave us. See.
If we manage to reach it. Oh
no, it's because I've got 1 sun, 2 moon, 3 star. I'm sure that's definitely not a hint for a later puzzle. Don't worry about it. Anyway, yeah, what I was saying was, basically, Shiroi, up until this point we had the yellow plunger, because you haven't noticed. But now we replace it with the red plunger, and the big difference with the red plunger, not only can it stun enemies for a slightly longer time, when you shoot it at walls, it sticks in walls, so you can use it as platforms. Don't ask me what's the... apparently the color makes all the difference. Don't ask me how. It just does.
Usually red makes things go faster, in this case makes things go stickier, I guess.
Well, like Sonic, I guess the red springs make you go higher.
Alright then. Moving on. But yeah, what else was...
Yeah, well, I was saying before, basically, both in case of the speed momentum and the jump weight, basically. Because, again, there are things that people take these things for granted, but in a lot of games, they're done either purposely or accidentally unbalanced, and they can screw up players. The best example, obviously, is in Ghosts and Goblins, where Arthur cannot move while jumping, making every jump that you make count.
Indeed.
But yeah, we were saying, Pedro.
We are now... Goofy also told us that Gyro, aka full name being Gyro Girolus, the inventor from Duckburg, is looking for us. So yeah, let's go back to Duckburg then. Now that we have the red plunger, we should be able to climb that wall.
Also, I will just wanted to point out that in order to regain health, Donald needs to eat roasted chicken like in Castlevania.
Cannibalism! Yay!
Yay!
Alright, so there you go. This is how the red plunger works. There you go.
It's as easy as it gets.
So yeah, for now on there's going to be a lot of wall climbing thanks to the red plunger.
Ow!
Ow! Boom! Just the boom word. There you go, Shiro. It turns out boom is a swear word because it hurts.
Alright.
Sonic boom, maybe? I don't know.
True.
That game was so bad, boom is now a curse word.
Yes. You're probably wondering, what are these turtles with boxing gloves? I don't know either. They're...
I mean, it's not even a reference to the Turtle and Rabbit and Hare cartoon that Disney made a long time ago.
And yes, Pete's gang, as you can see, is constantly around trying to kill me.
Alright. Thankfully, for this game you have a fair enough amount of health, so again, the challenge seems to be balanced.
It is. It can get a bit hard in certain spots, but yeah, for the most part it is. Alright. This is actually this is actually one of my favorite pieces of music in the game. Oh look, the moon is smiling. Isn't it beautiful?
Aww.
And apparently on these electric wires, the electricity runs only in certain specific places.
It's a video game.
True.
For our convenience.
Also, the sound effects are also the same of Castle of Illusion because obviously the same team, but that's a nice touch.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, the HD version of...
there you go.
Gyro.
Donald, just the fellow I wanted to see. Would you please try out my newest invention? Alright, what is it?
Not exploding.
It's bubblegum ammo. When you use it in your shooter, it makes exploding bubbles. Fucking bubbles! That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The third weapon and final weapon of the game is bubbles.
Don't question.
Oh, trust me too. These bubbles are awesome.
Alright.
Alright, so yeah, now that we have our bubbles, now we're finally ready to tackle on the third area that we can visit, Transylvania.
But yeah, basically, retroactively, when the HD version, well, the remake of Castle of Illusion was made, it also referenced this particular title in two ways. First, you have a form of collectible in the form of the chili peppers of Donald, and a particular stage, actually, the narrator references this, sort of. Alright.
Here we go. In fact, there's actually a trophy in the...
For collecting all the chili peppers, yeah.
That's a reference to Quackshot.
Yeah. You also get a different costume, basically a Mickey Explorer or something, which is themed after this.
Alright. There we go. And there we go. Back to the checkpoint.
Alright. So let's see this new area.
Yes.
Let's hope it's not as difficult as in the DuckTales game.
No, it isn't. This game is not at all like DuckTales, fortunately. Alright. Ooh, creepy. And of course there's bats.
Well, yeah, Transylvania and everything. Also, you see... Oh, go ahead, Pedro.
Unlike the sand in Mexico, the water instantly kills you, so avoid it.
Okay.
So this is where the platform
never mind the fact that Donald is a fucking duck. I mean...
Yeah. These things are never properly addressed. But yeah, the whole... Think about this, Shirei, the whole licensing thing that went on, also on Sega, but there was also Nintendo, thanks to... mainly to Capcom. Then there were also a couple of minor studios were developing for Disney up until the PlayStation era. This thing was tapering up to 11 for the Aladdin licensed video games because the two versions who actually exist are pretty much completely different. There's the one for the Super Nintendo made by Virgin, I think, or was it Capcom? I forgot.
No. You got it backwards. The Mega Drive version is the one made by Virgin. The SNES version is made by Capcom.
And the SNES version of it. But basically, they're pretty two completely different games, and they came up pretty much at the same time, pretty much rivaling.
Blow up the wall with bubblegum ammo because apparently bubbles can break things, and I don't even know how the hell I know this. But why in the world did you come to such a scary place? I'm looking for King Garuzia's treasure.
I have to wonder how they discovered that bubbles were a weapon.
King Garuzia's treasure! Now I remember. Count Dracula has the treasure map in this castle for some reason.
Called the Battle Monster.
But I don't think Dracula will give up the treasure map too easily. You kinda have to wonder why, considering he's not after the treasure himself, but whatever.
Possession and shit.
So yeah, the bubbles can literally blow up these walls.
And also, the other ghosts are hostile, so watch out.
Yeah. Oh, and it can also destroy barrels.
Because why not? Ow. There we go.
There you go, Tim. What do you think of Gyro's latest invention?
Well, I'm used to the Italian comic books where he's also the official gadgeteer of Donald Duck's superhero alter ego. So
Well, that's not just the Italian guy. That's just the comics in general. I mean,
True. Even basically I'm saying that because it originated from here, from there.
Mm-hmm.
Even though, yeah, I keep forgetting that they did get some export.
Some actually, they're still popular over here.
I know, even though, well, I don't. From what I heard, stuff gets either partially exported, or it gets some like cuts, minor cuts or adjustments during the translation. As long as it's like a joke or reference, I can understand. But from what I hear, sometimes entire stories get cut off.
So yeah, now we're in the water level, and Donald apparently can just breathe underwater.
Okay.
So he can't
What's
swim.
the difference between the water here and the water out there?
Psst, psst. You, shut up.
Okay, moving on. Ow.
Alright. It's a Disney video game.
True.
It's a video game.
Alright. So yeah, I'm gonna have to use a lot of the red plunger, and it can be really unless you're really careful. It's really hard to avoid to get around this game because there's a lot of this part because there's a lot of iron balls swinging around.
I had to say, this particular piece of the soundtrack sounds more like 8-bit than 16-bit.
Yeah.
Not saying in a negative way, obviously. I just say that it sounds, especially because it sounds very Shovel Knightly.
I'm just gonna chalk that up to it being the Mega Drive.
Well, that also depends on the composer. I mean, when it came to making music for both the NES and SEGA Mega Drive Genesis, people did not usually came up with problems. I mean, keep in mind, since they were 8 and 16 bits, that also meant that the tracks to compose were actually fairly easy.
Yeah.
It only
I don't
were
mean
basically.
it being a bad thing, but like the Mega Drive's sound chip was an interesting thing.
Yeah, especially according to what Toby Fox said about it.
Alright, we're almost out of the water here.
Oh,
Alright.
hello there.
This ghost in particular is playing hot and cold with us. Or sorry, red light, green light, that's the name.
So they're a boo.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much. Except that it's them not needing to watch you instead of you needing to watching them.
If it finds me moving, it will turn into little ghosts and basically ram into me, Zelda style with the chickens. Fortunately, I can pull up ammo, but first, just in case.
There we go.
And now this particular platform works as an elevator for some reason.
Okay.
So then there you go. Basically,
Little
that
secret
particular section with the ghost loops until you find the exit. So basically, it's all about continuing experimenting, seeing what's the secret to getting out of that particular loop.
Also, the fact that the paintings are watching you is also another nice touch.
Yeah. The classical trope in cartoons.
Haunted mansions, yeah.
Alright, there we go. God damn it. Oh no, it's got. Oh, there you go.
Apparently a plunger is all you need.
Yes. Oh, here's another classical thing you saw a lot in games at this time. Walls that are coming from behind. There you go, Shiroi. Sonic 3 took it from this.
The moving wall of doom, yeah.
Yeah.
Sonic just plagiarizes everything, doesn't it?
0 out of 10.
Yeah. There you go.
More gum.
Let's see what else. More gum. And another loop.
Alright. Moving on.
Fun fact, I also have to turn against it. I mean, I have to literally be facing the other way that she's looking for some reason. Otherwise, she'll, I don't know, I guess she likes being mooned, I don't know.
Alright.
Well, that didn't work.
No, that's not another platform.
That's okay. Gives me a chance to show the loop effect. There we go. So there you go. Since I wasn't able to find the exit, now this section loops again. All right.
Okay.
Not yet. More gum, yay. Alright, so what you actually have to do is you have to not destroy these blocks, you actually have to climb on them using the red plunger, and then you just climb from here.
Yay!
Alright.
There we go.
Hey.
Alright. Now we're ready to fight the boss, aka Dracula.
Let's see if he's tough. Oh shit!
What he does is he always throws his bats at us. This is where I recommend using the corn, because the corn, since it fires 5 hits at once, it can kill. If placed right, it can actually even kill the bats at the same time that it hurts them.
There we go.
I missed 2, but that's okay. There you go. Basically, just keep doing this until he's dead. It's really easy.
Yeah, I can see that. There we go.
Donald takes the real treasure map.
The real one.
Yes.
You sure about that?
Don't worry, Shiroi. I'm sure that ghost was in no way tricking us. Alright, let's call the airplane then. We're done with Transylvania. In fact, we're done with all of the 3 previous areas. Now we have 4 brand new areas to explore.
Yay!
Alright,
we will see in the next part.
Indeed, see you then, everybody.